Okay, this is the transmission mount. It bolts up like this, first of all.
Yeah.
And then the second bolts go through here. And this is what happens to
Wow.
this one. So there's no way the transmission can be held.
Okay.
And I got one coming in for tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. So that is what the issue was here, guys. Now this is going to be an original here,
That's
obviously. And what
rotten and rotten and broken.
rotten and broken. So you can watch any videos on transmission mounts on YouTube's, guys, but this is the issue. Is one little part. Literally wouldn't have been able to diagnose this until we got everything put together and driving, but that's what's holding us up before getting the yellow one out.
All this time, that transmission is just floating around on the back end.
Yeah.
Because it's not holding nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take this off now,
Yeah.
but it bolts on from under here
Okay.
in two places.
Yeah.
I got it jacked up, so I'm going to take all this off, eh?
Yeah.
And then the other option is take the flex plate off, and that row of bolts, jack up the motor, block it, so you can pull the whole transmission back.
And we're not doing that.
We are not doing that.
Okay.
I said right from the start, I am not doing anything on old engines or old transmissions,
Yeah.
other than valve covers or plugs and stuff like that. I'm not pulling engines apart.
Okay. So this would be an extreme change here for Dad.
And there's another thing. That old differential is, I don't know how old it is.
60 years.
I'm not taking that thing apart either.
Yeah.
Probably can't get parts.
Yeah.
So when this thing blows up, motor, transmission, the rear end, he has to take the whole works out and start over fresh.
So let this be a lessons for buyer beware, guys. Is you have to have a good engine, good transmission, good differential. We just rebuilt a differential for a customer, and it was almost $6,000. So
That's axles.
yeah, axles and everything. So this is the buyer beware part. Is
Now here's the recommendation. I will go put you anywhere for nothing for a purchaser that's thinking about buying a Bombardier.
yeah.
Because I just can't stand it anymore. There's too much junk out there.
So there you go, guys. This is what Dad's working on here today. When we get the part in, Dad'll put it back in, then we'll do the second test run. So we took out the drive shaft here, just so that Dad can work in here. Dad's going to jack this up tomorrow here, replace the transmission mounts. We were able to order the part. We'll hopefully get it tomorrow. Reinstall that transmission mount, reinstall the drive shaft, put everything back together, and hopefully we can do the second test run the next day or that day. So we got the transmission mounts in, and Dad ordered two kinds, and the one is almost near perfect fit, so we're gonna put that one in and reassemble everything here. So you guys can see right here, point to it, that is where we got to put the transmission mount. So Dad's got it jacked up, and the old one, the rubber had come,
Goes in like this,
yeah,
under here,
there you go.
and I gotta put the bolts in through here first of all,
Yeah,
and then two underneath it.
yeah. So 4 bolts,
Yep.
and I think one bolt was stripped on the old one, and then all the rubber that was attached to the transmission mount was just garbage,
Rotten and broke
rotten
apart.
and broken. So we're going to keep that old one to show the client. And so Dad's got it jacked up here, and he's going to do this. So Dad knew what he was doing, but I looked online for transmission mount videos, and The process seemed short, I guess, for changing out, but there's a lot of disassembly. So if you actually have knocking on your brakes, this could be one of the things. But it's one of those things. Just one tiny part can set you right back. So Dad was just saying when he originally took this out, he had to use a mirror to take it apart. Normally you have a vehicle on a lift at the shop and you can just look up and do all this, but now it
Got a pan on it. So
yeah.
can't.
And Dad didn't want to have to jack the whole Bombardier up and then remove that floor to get at it, but he figured it out. So Dad spent the last 5-10 minutes.
Well, you can mention if you want to.
Okay, well,
Trying to find the right size
yeah,
with 3/8 coarse thread,
yeah.
and there never was bolts in it.
So
Well, it's just as well because
Yeah.
it wasn't holding nothing in it.
So Dad's going, where did I put the bolts? And he's trying to put everything back together. Can't find the bolts, can't find the bolts. I don't dare touch anything around here if it's laying out here in the immediate vicinity unless he's working on something, or if he's working on something. So he's going to like, where okay, well, I'll go to the bolt bin, get some new bolts, and 3/8 coarse thread. And so there's supposed to be 4 bolts. There's only 2 of them. So, it wasn't holding anything together. So, again, this is what happens when things drop out and roll around. That's where they go. After playing around here for an hour, getting that into place, those 4 bolts, we had to disconnect a bunch of stuff here. Had to start everything finger tight first, and really cramped conditions. Dad was able to get one side, I did the other. Got everything all tightened up, torqued up. That's just reinstalling the shifter cable here now, and then we're gonna reconnect everything here and put in the drive shaft and rotor again, and hopefully all goes well, and we might even do a test run today. Dad's got a bit of welding here to do. Well, we're feeling a little optimistic about putting everything back together and go to put the rotor back into the transmission, and wouldn't you know it, it's about 2 hairs away from being able to get in. So Dad's got the rotor back out with the drive shaft and he's swearing over here, but gonna have to get the rotor remachined, and well, could be a while yet. So one of the things that we noticed here during the first test run was also that this exhaust pipe was banging a little bit with vibration, so Dad is whitening it up. Nothing holding it.
No, that's how it came, and I'm not doing nothing with
Okay, but Dad's leveled them off, so they're nice and clean.
They have to move.
Yeah.
Otherwise they'll break the manifold.
Okay. So one of the other things Dad has done here now is it's the next day, got everything cleaned out. Rotor, drive shaft, everything's out. The drive shaft is over there, and we got the rotor over here, but it's a weekend and we can't get it to be machined down. So Dad's actually cut out that brace again in anticipation of reinstalling that rotor. We got to get that rotor machine down about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch. Our old King Charles is on his sleeping bag having his afternoon treat.